Welcome Jamaica, welcome to another episode of Mobile Reasoning. Today, we sit and talk to the lovely Ramona Riley, CEO of Cosmic Wombman.
Good morning, Ramona.
Good morning, darling. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am well.
We'll start off by learning more about this interesting lady, what she does, where she's from. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica. I'm from Kingston. I've lived away for many years. I left when I was in high school. Just coming back now, so that's a good amount of years.
You've lived away?
Yes, I was living in Florida, and then I lived in South Carolina, and then I moved back.
So you've been out of the diaspora for a time?
Yes.
When did you return to Jamaica?
Just August of this year.
To pursue your career?
I always had an office here in Jamaica for about 4 years now, but I decided that I was going to move back here and be here permanently. So kind of like get out of the cold, and come back to an island, pretty much.
I understand. The Vagina Lady. How did you get that name?
I would say that was probably about 5.5 years ago. I was in South Carolina at a jazz bar. I followed a friend of mine to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom and I was standing up outside, and a lady, she passed me and she looked at me, and I didn't know her, so I just said hello, and she went on about her business. And probably about 7 minutes later, by the time my friend came out of the bathroom, she came up to me and she was like, "I think I know you. Aren't you like that Vagina Lady person or something?" And my friend died. She like keeled over, literally dying. And I was laughing too. And I guess from there it was just like, the Vagina Lady person, yeah, that's me. Yeah, and I've just stuck.
What transition did you make from high school? Did you start out as a health specialist?
No, actually I went to college for early childhood education. I was a teacher for years, director of Montessori schools, and so education was just what I did. Once I found out about my reproductive issues, or maybe probably like a year before I found out, my spirit was very overwhelmed by teaching and coming home and dealing with my 2 children. I raise my hat off to those teachers and teacher/parents that can do that. But after a while I realized that I was becoming a lot more impatient with my children at home, and I felt a little bit more flustered, and so I decided I wasn't going to really teach anymore. And so every so often I would go and whatever, but I would like sub more than it would be a daily thing. When I had this issue with my reproductive system, and fixing it and healing and going through that reproductive healing journey, it was then that I decided I wanted to go into this wellness type of holistic field. Before then I would have never thought that I would do something like that.
You have a unique condition, Meiosis?
Yes.
A lot of persons don't know about it. I didn't know about it until we went to the Healthy Pelvis conference. And you about endo? Yes,
endo is much more common.
Okay.
Much more common. I would say that if I have 1,000 clients, I probably have 4 that have endo. In terms of endo, a lot. Endo is much more prevalent, even though it's still not being diagnosed as soon as it should be. It is definitely something that is suffered from by women more than endo.
What's the difference?
Okay, so anden is inside the uterus. So the inside the uterus is being affected, whereas endometriosis is on the outside, it's the lining. So you find that with endo, a lot of different, you can scar tissue is developed, and the scar tissue can then start to connect itself to other parts, other organs in the body. So a lot of times you'll find that the uterus then starts to get connected to the fallopian tubes in terms of scar tissue. A lot of times it goes to like the bowels, the digestive system. So the scar tissue will spread and spread and spread and spread, you know. So that's kind of the difference. So it's like more scar tissue is in the uterus for Anden, and for endo it's more of, it's on the outside, and it can affect other organs and other systems as well.
You said you had children, right?
Yes.
A lot of persons who are diagnosed with endo and Aden, they are told that they can't have children.
Yes.
So how did you define that?
Okay, so I had 2 children before I was diagnosed with Anden. And once I had a miscarriage at 29, and because of the miscarriage, I ended up going to the doctor to kind of figure out like what's going on, because I've had a lot of reproductive issues, but miscarriages is not something that happens to me. And so I went to check it out, and, you know, realized that it was Anden. That's what created the miscarriage. And they told me I would never have children again. I need to basically have a hysterectomy. It can be a partial, it can be a full, that's up to me, but the uterus needs to come out, and it needs to come out now. And I decided that I was not going to do that. And so in beating the odds, I guess it's more of, I learned ways to heal myself, did a lot of research, went to a herbalist, you know, cut off all the meat. I went meat free, dairy free, everything free, gluten free, all of it. And when I did it, I don't even think that I thought this was going to work. You know, I just knew that I had to do something, because hysterectomy is not really an option. Yeah, it's not an option. I was way too young. Even if I didn't want to have children again, I just felt like I wouldn't want to be on pills for the rest of my life until menopause would have started, which would have been in my 50s, and I was only 29, so I didn't really want to go down that world. So came off of all of those things, and 2.5 months later I was healed. It was the most amazing, miraculous, like I call my daughter my miracle baby. Like, it was just amazing how quickly it happened. Can I say that my diet, of course, that changed, so that was a difference. I used a lot of aromatherapy, I used sound therapy, I used color therapy, I used...
Hold on, we're going to get into the therapies as we go on. But we start by talking about the diet first. You stopped eating meat, you went vegan?
I went completely vegan. And I went gluten-free, which means that, of course, there is no wheat, there is no, no white bread, white rice, white flour, unless it's gluten-free. I also drank sorrel every single day.
Sorrel?
Yeah, sorrel, hibiscus every single day. I also had red raspberry tea every single day, all day. But yeah, I mean, diet's huge. Diet creates these things, and diet can heal these things.
So you realize that there was a connection between the digestive system and the reproductive system?
They are best friends. They work hand in hand. So anything that's happening in the reproductive system is going to affect the digestive, and vice versa. Which is why when you're about to have your period, your bowels shift. You might go more than you usually go. You might get constipated, but there's always going to be a shift. And it's because something else is happening in the digestive system.
So what about the persons who have painful periods, they have these reproductive system issues, but they don't want to go vegan?
Okay, so I have a lot of clients that definitely, me telling them to come off of meat altogether is not realistic. It's really not. And I think a lot of times it is a state of desperation that takes you there. Don't get me wrong, the majority of my clients that come to me are desperate. They're at their wit's end. They've tried everything else already. So I'm not saying that they aren't desperate, but for me, it was almost like life or death at this point. Now, I don't expect everyone to just come off of meat like that. But what I would say is the beef, the pork, they're heavy. They take a long time to digest out the body. And not just digest when we're talking about going through the colon and intestines and all of that, but just coming out of your blood. It's a long time. So that could be an issue. So I would definitely say try to stay away from those.
Especially in the period.
Especially before and during the period. For sure. It will make a difference. You want your digestive system to do as less work as possible before and during your period, because you will find that your period goes much smoother.
Smoother in terms of less
pain, less flow, shorter days, less clots.
And those are normal things?
It is definitely normal to have pain and to have clots and to have all those things, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Your period should be breezy, easy breezy.
No clots.
No pain, no whole heap of moodiness, no nausea, no headache, no back pain, no bloating, none of that. There should be none of that.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
Well, it depends, because every woman has these things based off of different things. One woman, her reproductive system, she could have painful periods because her uterus is weak. Okay. Another woman can have painful periods because of maybe the lining. Another one can have painful periods maybe because she has endo. Another one can have painful periods because her uterus is low and has dropped. So there are many different reasons of why women have painful periods. So when they DM or send a WhatsApp message and they're like, I have painful periods, what do you have for me? I'm kind of just like, I don't know. I don't know enough about you to say what I have for you, you know? So when it comes to the pain, when it comes to the uncomfortableness, the bloating, all those things, the clots, it's just not healthy. Those things are all signs that things are off.
So painful periods are symptoms
that something is wrong.
So after you changed the diet, you stopped having all these symptoms?
There are a lot of different reasons of why you can have painful periods. When it comes to bloating, I mean, usually that's very digestive, you know, and bloating is something that is usually fixed in. If you come to me today for bloating, by the next period, you have no bloating. Bloating is easy. That's a breeze, right? But when it comes to things like, you know, the period being extremely painful, or you have nausea or vomit before or during the period, that usually probably takes about 2, maybe 3 months, and then that kind of like settles out as well. So all these things can stop, for sure.
So I'm guessing you don't recommend painkillers?
I mean, everything in moderation, 1. 2, painkillers are healing the fact that you're having the pain. So you're going to continually have to do painkillers, because I was there. I did Baralgin. I did the works. I would take like 3 800 whatever ibuprofen, like at one time, and I would do that like 3 times for the day. Like, it was insane, the amount of pain. But then after a while, your body gets used to it. So you have to do more and more, and then
medication.
And then your liver gets so stressed because it has to be filtering all of this medication, you know. So do I say, should you not take a Panadol or take a Tylenol or whatever? I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, if you find that you have to do that every month, something's wrong. We need to fix it. We need to get to the root of the issue.
So what are some natural painkillers? You spoke about red raspberry.
Right, and red raspberry is not really a painkiller. It is more of, it's a toner. It tones the uterus. It also has magnesium, and magnesium is really good for the hormones, and it's really good for helping with pain. So you find that a lot of women say, oh, red raspberry helped me with my pain. And it's not that it's a pain thing. It's just that because it has the magnesium, because it has iron, and because it tones the uterus muscle, the pain seems less. You know?
What are some other?
I really recommend things like chamomile. I mean, it's in our womb tea. You find that relaxes the uterus, it relaxes the nerves, it relaxes the body. So, I mean, before the period, during the period for sure, but I would say every day. When you wake up in the morning and you drink your peppermint or you drink your whatever, put some chamomile in there too. You know, it would really help. It's going to help with the bloating as well.
Is ginger good?
Ginger is amazing. It's a superfood. Ginger is everything. Great for inflammation as well. A lot of times the reason why women have painful things is because of inflammation. And the uterus is swollen, right? So that would definitely be fabulous. Ginger is going to be good for anybody who has any reproductive issue. I don't care if it's your uterus. I don't care if it's your fallopian tubes. I don't care if it's your ovaries. Ginger is going to definitely help.
What about the sweeteners?
Okay, so when it comes to doing teas and those types of things, I recommend no sweetener. Okay? There's no point in killing it. Okay? Now, if you're talking about you want to make some cereal or you want to, you know, maybe you're going to have, you know, maybe like a glass of coffee, a mug of coffee once a day or something like that or whatever, and you want to sweeten it. Molasses is always a great sweetener. Agave is always a really good sweetener as well. You find that agave is a little bit more expensive in Jamaica, so that might not be an option for everyone. Honey, yeah, I like honey. You just got to be careful to make sure that it is not processed. You want to look at your ingredients. It says 100% honey on the label, but then when you go to the back and look at the small writing in the back, there are tons of other things in it. So we definitely want to make sure that that is, you know, it's pure honey and it's from the area that you live in. That really makes a difference as well. Depending on what your reproductive issues are, I would say there are certain treatments to help those things. Now, usually reproductive things stem from a hormonal standpoint, usually. Okay, maybe too much estrogen, too much progesterone, too much testosterone, maybe what should be high is low, what should be low is high. So if we tackle and look at just that in itself, we can definitely use aromatherapy to help that. Like for example, something like clary sage or something. Rubbing it on your body, bottom of your feet, palm of your hands, rubbing it together, inhaling it, that can definitely help to balance hormones. You can also look into, of course, like your herbs, where we're going into like a red clover or a vitex or any of those, where those balance the hormones in terms of herbs, so that you can put them in capsules or make teas or whatever it is that you personally feel comfortable with because of your daily lifestyle. There are treatments though, actual physical treatments that you can get done or do to yourself that really help to balance the hormones. So things like a castor oil treatment or maybe womb massages. There are even coconut therapy, which is something that I've been doing a lot more with my clients, doing coconut therapy. Putting the coconut, it has to be virgin, cold pressed, organic coconut oil, where when you open it, it smells like coconut, you know, it's white. Putting it in their belly button, really, 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 really amazing.
I read really something that the navel is connected to a lot of
the navel is almost everything. You can do a lot of healing through the navel. I even do like navel candling, which is like a candle type of thing that you put in the navel and it pulls toxins out, which is also something that's pretty amazing as well.
Is it the same procedure for the castor oil?
The castor oil itself is your entire abdomen. So you're going to go from the top part of your pelvic area all the way to maybe your belly button. Or you can go a little higher if you want to. And you would saturate the area with the castor oil. Has to be cold pressed, has to be organic. So no black Jamaican castor oil, no.
Why not?
It has a lot of resin, that's why it's black. And the resin takes away a lot of the healthy properties. You always want your oils to be cold pressed, meaning there is no heat, there is no nothing. You are removing all the negative entities of it and getting the positive entities only. So in terms
Wow.
of in terms of coconut oil, sorry, we're not talking about coconut oil, castor oil. We want to make sure that the castor oil is not dark. It's not dark at all. It should be from either a clear, like not clear,
color?
like I would say Chardonnay, that Chardonnay look. I would say anything from that to maybe a little darker. But when we're getting into like browny black, it's too dark. It's way too dark. So you just saturate the abdomen. There's a special cloth. You have to use either a cotton flannel piece of cloth or muslin cloth. Make sure it's not dyed, not bleached. You put that over the oil, and then after you use a heating pad on top of it, you lie there for an hour. It detoxes your reproductive system, digestive system, lymphatic system, circulatory system. And it's easy, it's cheap.
So everything has to be natural, no additives,
No, because you remember we're penetrating into the skin. Skin is the largest organ, okay? So we're penetrating into the skin to pull out toxins. So we want to make sure that it is natural, because we're already trying to pull out the things that are unnatural and bad for us. We don't want to be putting in things that are also not bad for us. It defeats the entire purpose of it.
So what about the capsules with red clover?
Okay.
Capsules, which is made from plastic. Is that bad as well?
Okay, so when you're getting anything in capsules, it could be herbs, it could be probiotics, it could be whatever you want. The reality is, most of the capsules are going to come in two forms. They're going to come in a vegetable form, and they're also going to come as a gelatin form. Okay, gelatin is plastic. And so when you buy it, when you buy your whatever that you're buying, you look at the back, you look at the label, you look all over to find out what type of capsules these are. Usually, the ones that are gelatin will be cheaper. So you see it and you'll see another one and be like, oh, I'm going to buy this one because it's cheaper, but it's cheaper because it has plastic. Okay, and what does plastic do? Throws off your hormones. Okay, because plastic has BPA, it has phthalates, it throws off your hormones completely.
So anything that has plastic or using a plastic container is bad?
Okay, so if you're gonna use a plastic container, I don't suggest you heating anything in it. Okay, because the estrogen, the phthalates, the everything is going right into the food that you're cooking, or the food that's in it, or whatever you have in it. They do have, like for example me, all of my like plasticware and Tupperware and all of that is BPA free and phthalates free. I go out of my way to make sure that I do that, right? That option might not be for everyone. It's because it is a more expensive option, but you definitely want to watch your plastic. I mean, even the plastic in the dishwasher has phthalates and BPA. So we want to really watch these things.
This is a lot of information.
Am I blowing your mind today?
You are. I'm thinking you're blowing everybody's mind. People are going to be stoned. Vaginal steaming. You were saying plastic was bad. So heating is bad.
Yes.
It releases all the toxins.
Yes.
What if I'm doing a vaginal steaming? What do I use?
Okay, so you want to definitely use more like stainless steel. That would be a better option because at least there's not like the phthalates and the BPA that is contaminating the water. So I would say a stainless steel bowl. For me, with my clients, I give them a plastic bowl and then a stainless steel bowl in it, so that the plastic bowl can like hold the stainless steel bowl in place. So that's usually a better option. Or they come and steam themselves at the office.
Using that?
Using the vaginals, the vaginal chair, yes.
So you insert the...
So in the back, there is a door in the back of the chair.
Sure.
There is a door in the back. There's a door in the back of the chair that you would open, and we would put the bowls in there. So it would sit here, and the steam would come up through the hole and up into the vagina.
Do you just use plain water or do you use some other herbs?
I definitely use herbs. So for example, this is the vaginal steam herb that we do. This is the female nourisher. We have two blends. We have the female nourisher and we also have the postpartum blend. Because of course vaginal steaming is amazing for just giving birth or if you had a miscarriage, unfortunately. It's really great to help release all the extra whatever, no matter what type of birth you had, vaginal or C-section.
What about after your period?
Very good after your period. So for example, I steam like maybe this last day of my period or maybe, yeah, like the last day I will steam. For some women, they need to steam more than once a month, just depending on what's going on with them, depending on what their period is like. But at least once a month, I would say for sure, to steam. And you just feel so fresh. Well, it helps the period to flow better. You have some women where when they start their period, they spot for a few days before the period actually comes down. They might spot and then stop and nothing comes and then the period comes down and there's a lot of breaks. Your period just needs to come down, it's there, it goes away. You know, if you're spotting for one day, I get it, but when you're spotting for 2, 3, 4 days before the period actually comes down, that's too long. Because your period really should be short. 1 day period is really what you could have.
Excuse me?
A woman can have a 1 day period.
1 day?
1 day. 18 hours, 24 hours.
Hours?
And that would be a woman who is clearly healthy. Okay, this is not a woman who is eating beef and pork every day. This is not a woman that doesn't exercise. This is not a woman, this is clearly a woman that is on her health journey. So for example, my period lasts 2 days from beginning to end. When I started this process, my period was 11 to 12 days. So, and I'm not special, so anybody's period. Wow. Usually I would say there are just certain little things like doing your vaginal steam that can help to make the period better. The pads that you use can make it better, to make it shorter. Not eating certain foods during the period can make it shorter, you know, because we're used to that. The period should be 5 to 7 days. That's the norm, and it is the norm. But as I told you earlier, normal doesn't mean healthy.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that the shorter your period is the better, unless it is that you're going through early menopause. If that's the case, then clearly that's not healthy, and there's a hormonal issue.
The pads that we use?
The pads that we use, yes. So the common everyday pads that we see advertised, you know, we go in the supermarket and see the majority of them are very toxic. And when I say toxic, I mean toxic. We're talking chlorine bleach in them, pesticides are in them, plastic is in them, some of them have fragrance in them, and they make you bleed more. So if you just change your pads alone, your period will probably go down 2 days in itself, without you even changing the foods that you've eaten.
Are these examples of pads?
Yeah, so we in Jamaica, we do Cherish, and in the States, we do Cherish and Jewel, which is another brand that we use. Our main thing is to make sure that there are no additives, there is nothing in it that will affect the woman's reproductive system. So the Cherish actually has an ion strip in it, which really helps. The Jewel has graphene, which is very good for bacteria and those things, so that also helps. So you find that as soon as a woman uses natural pads, your period cuts down. They might have a little less pain than they would usually.
You hear that, ladies?
Certain things
natural
change.
Pads.
Natural pads. And if you're not somebody, if you're tampons, you can do natural tampons. If you don't want to affect the environment, you know what I mean, with, you know, throwing these things away, there is a Diva cup or menstrual cups that they have, which are made out of like surgical plastic. You fold it in a C, you insert it in your vagina, it catches the blood, and you remove it. The beauty about the cup is that you don't have to change it as often as you change a pad or as you change a tampon. And you can use it, you can leave it in if you need to pee. You don't have to take it out when you're on your period, to take it out to do all that. So, and I mean, financially it's better too, because you're buying one that's lasting you for 2 years. So you'll buy one menstrual cup that probably costs you, if we're talking Jamaican, it's going to cost you like $6,000 something. Then you buy the wash that comes with it, because I definitely recommend buying the wash with it so that you can keep the actual plastic durable, so that other things are not breaking it down. So that's probably going to cost another probably 1,500. So we're looking at 7,500, and that's going to last you for 2 years. Well, the wash you're going to probably have to keep getting, but I mean, at the end of the day, the wash is going to last you at least 2-3 months. You're not having your period every day, all day, so it really, that is also an option as well. And then you have cloth pads, which are also an option. It's not for everyone, just like how Diva cups aren't for everyone, but at the end of the day, you have to go with your lifestyle. You have to be realistic, so if you know that you're not going to get up and wash these pads that have blood in them, then that's not for you. That's not for you. You know what I mean? If you're anal about going inside your vagina, then the cup is probably not for you. So there is no reason why a woman should not be using some natural alternative, because there are just so many options. So many.
What are some of the other things you have on the table?
Okay, so of course you picked up a yoni egg. So that is a yoni egg, and of course it's shaped in an egg form. It's made of healing stone. Okay, it's made from a healing stone. So the healing stone comes from underneath the ground, just like your diamonds and your rubies and all these different types of things. I am very anal about my yoni eggs, making sure that whatever was used to carve, to shape the egg, does not cut anything but healing stones. So you'll find that my healing stones are going to be much more expensive than the ones that you're going to find on Amazon and all these others. It's just really important to make sure that anytime you get a yoni egg, it comes with a certificate of authenticity, that that it's not glass, but it's actually the healing stone. So there are many different types of healing stones. I wear them on my wrist all the time, every day. And they heal different things. They have different properties.
So what is this?
So this is a carnelian, okay? And carnelian is very good for the reproductive system. Very, very good for the reproductive system. So you're going to find that every yoni egg in itself are going to do certain basic things. They are going to strengthen your pelvic floor. It is going to help to awaken your vagina. It is also going to tone your vagina muscles. All of them are going to do this, okay? Now, depending on the actual stone like this, the carnelian, it will do other things. So the carnelian is going to help to balance the hormones a little bit, versus versus like an amethyst, okay? Where amethyst is going to be more about like brain power. It's going to be more about the brain. It's going to be more about memory. It's going to be more about awakening, being more conscious, right? That's what this is kind of more about. And then you have something like the green one. Which blue one? Okay. So like, for example, this is a snowflake obsidian, okay? So this is going to be more about grounding. This is actually not so connected to an organ as it is connected to like creating a good foundation, okay? So a lot of times they will say, for example, the root chakra, and that's a whole another topic, but the root chakra is all about balancing and creating a good foundation. So this is a really great balancer, for sure.
So you just insert this in the vagina?
You insert it and you do different exercises. So I teach my clients different exercises to do with it. I also recommend, if you have a partner that you usually are sexually active with, I would say be sexually active with the yoni egg inside of you as well. That really, really helps. If you're someone that in terms of libido, in terms of, climaxing, if that's an issue, I definitely recommend being sexually active with it, for sure. It really, really helps to awaken. And then you enjoy it, the man enjoys it, everybody is good. So all different eggs for all different things. Fertility, this is great for fertility, which is a green aventurine. This is a bloodstone, which is the one I'm using right now, the yoni, not this literal one, but a bloodstone. which is also good for fertility. I'm not using it for fertility. The Bloodstone is also good for cleaning your blood, and that's the reason why I'm using it right now. I'm very drawn to it, and it's a heart stone as well. And I'm always constantly working on my heart because I have to be doing a lot of healing and pulling a lot of energies and balancing energies on a daily basis, because of course the women that come to me are emotionally drained in some shape or form. So I find that I have to continuously, be making sure I'm charging my heart. So that's why I had ended up picking that one.
Wow.
So you have all different eggs for all different things.
What about other products?
Okay, so for example, we do a lot of tonics and that type of thing. And no matter if you call, you text, you come in, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you that no matter what your issue is, most likely you need to cleanse. Okay? And when we talk about cleansing, I get a little funny about it, because a lot of cleanses remove the good and the bad bacteria from your body. Okay? It's almost like an antibiotic. It kills everything, it removes everything. And that's not a good thing, because our gut in itself needs to have a lot of good bacteria so that our immune system and our respiratory and our lymphatic and all these other systems can be healthy. So cleansing is definitely important, man or woman, right? So usually we would recommend a cleanse. This cleanse is a supreme cellular cleanse, which means it cleans you on a cellular level, which is great. So it's not just about digestive, it's about cleaning the cells, purging the cells, so that your cells can now absorb the great things that we're going to be putting in your body, because of course the cells can be very toxic. We also have female vitamin, which we call feminine divine. The female vitamin, of course, is a multivitamin for a woman. Everyone should be on a vitamin, man, woman, or child. Everyone should be on it. I don't care how well you eat, okay? It's really, really important to be on a vitamin. So the feminine divine also cleans your blood, which I love. And of course it's going to be a hormone balancer, because it's giving you everything you need. Mm-hmm. The majority of the reasons why we have hormonal issues is because we have a lot of deficiencies. Okay, not enough iron, not enough B12, B6, all of these different things. So that's the feminine divine. We also have a male vitamin, which of course is going to be the same thing again, Mr. Rhinoceros. And
that's all like stamina and strength.
Yes, it's everything. It's everything. It's really, really good for stamina. It's really good for just energy, for giving you, what you need on a daily basis. It's going to clean his blood as well. I would say that in general, a man really should be on a vitamin. You know what I mean? You don't want to just look at it from, oh, that's a woman's thing, whatever. I mean, they're getting up every day, just like a woman, they need. And a lot of times, the eating and what you're eating is not necessarily the most healthy thing either. So you want to make sure that you're getting vitamins in, for sure. We have Mucus Buster, and of course, Mucus Buster is busting up the mucus, right? It really, really is amazing how Mucus Buster works. When the mucus is coming out, it doesn't come out through your nose, it actually comes out through your poop. Okay? And you will see it coming out mixed in your poop. It's like the craziest thing. So the Mucus Buster can be given to anyone. I have given it to my children. Of course, the dosage would be much less than what it is, because this is going to tell you to do 1 ounce, which is 2 tablespoons. If you're giving it to a child, depending on the age, clearly it's going to be less or much less, depending on the age of the child. A lot of times the reasons why we have issues, reproductive or anything else, is because of mucus. Arthritis, that's mucus. So we want to make sure that we remove the mucus from the body. If you have sinus, that means that mucus is probably lining your entire body. Okay, so we want to purge and release and remove that. A lot of times I have clients that have blocked tubes, and it's blocked with mucus. It's not all the time that it's blocked with mucus, but many times it's blocked with mucus. So the Mucus Buster is definitely something we recommend. The last tonic, and these are just the main tonics that we would, these are just the most popular ones, is regeneration, cellular regeneration, and this is all about cysts and fibroids. Okay, it helps to shrink them, It also has some mucus removal things in there as well. So you find that you might find mucus coming out, you know, through your poop with this one as well. Very much for hormone, cysts and fibroids, for sure. For sure. And that's pretty much in terms of the tonics, the main ones. Now, in terms of the oils, we have black seed oil, and I'm sure the majority of people have heard about black seed oil.
I haven't.
Okay. You've never heard? Okay. So black seed oil is an amazing oil that, I mean, it can even help to heal cancers and these types of things. It is amazing. It strengthens your immune system so much. So if I have a male that has sperm issues, he's always going to be on black seed oil.
Oh, so you don't just treat women, you also treat men?
I do, yeah. I have a lot of male clients, especially in the last 2 years. My male clientele has like tripled. It's like crazy. It's crazy. And of course, a lot of my clients are coming in for fertility. You know, sometimes it's him, sometimes it's her, sometimes it's both of them. You know, so black seed oil is really good for anyone in terms of fertility, in terms of anything. I mean, black seed oil is probably something that you should be on every day. Put a drop in your smoothie, put it directly in your mouth, and you know that you're a healthier person each day when you do that. Evening primrose oil is not for a man.
Why not?
Well, evening primrose is more about like your ovaries and your eggs and these types of things. So you find that if it's a woman who suffers from PCOS, or a woman that doesn't see her period, it's not regulated. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which would mean that there are a lot of cysts around the ovary or the ovaries. And so the ovaries can't function, it can't release the egg, so she's not ovulating, so she can't get pregnant. It also, evening primrose also kind of helps to like regulate the period also. So if you have periods that skip, you don't see it every month, I will always recommend evening primrose to you as well. So
this works with the regeneration?
So it's all, usually, each client I make a treatment plan for her or for him, because everyone is different. So you might be coming to me for fertility, but guess what? You are ovulating. Ovulation is not your problem. Your uterus is the issue, because you have miscarriages all the time. We have to work on that. So I wouldn't necessarily give you evening primrose. Okay? So it really just depends. But evening primrose is great for helping to balance out the hormones, helping with any ovary kind of issue. If you're a woman that, even menopause, great for menopause. You know, all these hot flashes and all this stuff that happens.
It's not healthy either.
No, it's not. If you suffer from menopause like that and you're having the hot flashes and the nausea and the headache and your hormones are pop, it shouldn't be like that. It should be breezy, just like your period. Easy and breezy. And then we have the hormonal oil blend. So this is a blend that I actually make, because the black seed oil, of course, I don't make that. The evening primrose, I don't make that. But the hormonal oil I do, and the hormonal oil, of course, is what it is, hormonal oil. So you're going to, you know, rub it on the bottom of your feet, the palm of your hands, when you go and do a pedicure. Like, we actually need to get this in like all of the nail salons and stuff. Yeah, because I mean, it's everything. So you just, you know, put a drop in your, you know, bath water, in your pedicure water, in your manicure water, and because of the warmth and because, of course, your pores are, your hands and feet are the largest pores, it just absorbs it. You know, if you have a lot of pain during your period, you can take some of this and rub it on your abdomen. Put a heating pad over it. It's going to help.
Which is not made of plastic.
Well, even if it's made of plastic, it's not going directly on the skin. Okay? You can also rub this on your ankles if you suffer from your ankles into the bottom of your feet, into your heel if you suffer from painful periods, because that's actually a reflex point for your uterus. Okay, so a lot of times if I'm trying to stimulate the ovaries or I'm trying to stimulate the uterus, or I might not even touch your abdomen. I'm going to be working on the bottom of your feet or the sides of your feet or wherever, just depending on what it is. And that's like that whole acupuncture, reflexology type of thing. So the hormonal oil blend literally just helps to balance the hormones. That's pretty much it. And then we have colonial silver. So the colonial silver is amazing for your immune system. Okay, like amazing. So you can swallow it. What I use it for majority of the time for my clients is actually for yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis. Okay, Now, you can't just go into your pharmacy and go pick up a colloidal silver. It's not going to be strong enough. It's not going to be good enough. You need to make sure that when you get a colloidal silver, it is like 500 ppms. It has to be 500 or more. You do not want, if you go into the pharmacy, you're going to probably find 20, you're probably going to find 10.
Really?
It's just not strong enough. It's just diluted way too much, which is why it's so cheap. Okay, so colloidal silver is definitely something we use for yeast, BV, any kind of smell, any kind of itching, any kind of...
What about UTIs?
For UTIs, we actually use lemongrass. Lemongrass is an oil. Remember I was talking about cold press and that kind of thing? So when it comes to doing lemon, because you know they say drink lemon in the morning with warm and this and all of that, and it's good for your digestive system. It really is. But the reality is that lemon has a lot of acid. Depending on your body, depending on what you eat, depending on how you treat your body, that could be an issue as time goes on, because you're trying to do this natural detoxification, but the reality is it is really killing your bones. So I always do the oil. So I'm going to do lemon oil, I'm going to do lemongrass oil, because of course all of the impurities, all the acid, everything is pulled from it, and all you have left is just the amazing things that's in it.
So you just rub it?
So you would rub it on your abdomen and you would put a drop in your water. Now when it comes to essential oils, you cannot swallow every essential oil. So please don't go to your nearest wherever and go get it and it costs you $500 and you're going to swallow it. No. If you are swallow, you have to make sure it's an A grade essential oil. Okay. I know Young Living is one brand, and doTERRA. I use doTERRA personally. These are just amazing, amazing oils that you can help to. You can swallow, you can rub on your belly, so it can be topical, it can be digestive, and it can be aromatherapy. The majority of them, right? So this, for UTIs, you put a drop in your water twice a day, and rub it on your abdomen, mixed with a carrier oil, and a carrier oil would be like a coconut oil or an olive oil or a grapeseed oil, something like that, and you'd rub it on your abdomen. And if you want to use a heating pad on it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to, and you keep it moving.
So folks, this is part 1 of our reasoning with Ramona Riley, CEO of Cosmic Wombman. Whole heap of information not true on end must have bus, because mine sure is. Stay tuned for part 2 when our CEO sits to reason with Ramona from a man's perspective. Until then, like, share, comment and subscribe. My name is Tiffany McLegon, representing the Believe, Inspire and Transform company, Good News Jamaica.